Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a brand new TW9 video. We're doing a rare show in Canada. We're at the Ottawa Stadium in Ontario and hopefully we can have a good one here, kicking off a bit of momentum on the road to full gear. So yeah, not really much to add, as I say, just been booking along, got the card fully written out, so it's just about making all those stories have good heat behind them and hopefully everything making a heap of sense and a few hints for obviously things down the line. So sit back, relax and enjoy first Dynamite and then the rest of the week in AEW. I also realised I don't think I used one Canadian wrestler on this show, but oh well. Start off with some exciting action, and it is a tag team match between, well, 3/4 of them in the WWE now, but it is Lucha Bros against the Kings of the Black Throne. I made a bout here that had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the audience. The Lucha Bros defeat the Kings of the Black Throne in 1407 with Rey Fenix pinning Malachi Black. Yes, you read that correctly. Malachi Black being pinned with an assisted Fear Factor. In terms of in-ring performance, Rey Fenix was head and shoulders above the rest. You can see there a 96 performances, utterly fantastic. 83 for the wrestling, 60 for the crowd, and an 80 segment overall. Some good stuff. You can maybe boost that to an 82. Obviously the psychology penalty is going to be a bit of a kicker, but yeah, some positive momentum for the Lucha Brothers. So this brings out Paul Heyman, and he is followed by the tag team champions Ricochet and Ua. And Heyman says, well, what an exciting matchup that was. A mighty impressive performance if I do say so myself. Rey Fenix, Penta, I've had it on authority that you, the Lucha Brothers, will be the team who steps forward and gets a chance to challenge these gentlemen here for the AEW World Tag Team Championships at Full Gear. But have it rest assured, if you even want to have a remote chance of defeating these men, then you'll have to step up your game massively. Ua, a powerhouse with explosive speed, and Ricochet, the king of flight, the one and only. And then he just cuts in with, yeah, you better understand that. You two are that damn ugly that you've got to wear a mask to cover your face, and then does the aha thing that he loves to do that I just can't do. So just getting a bit of heat between these two teams, but as I say, in a few weeks' time we are going to see tag team championships on the line, Ricochet and Ua against the Lucha Brothers. 64 though, not too bad. Heyman came across well. Ua underwhelming. It's just getting Ua over. We then had a decent matchup that saw Kyle O'Reilly defeat Sammy Guevara in 9:36 with the Brainbuster. This match was designed to tell a specific story. This is not how I thought I booked it, my bad. But 63 for the wrestling, 48 crowd, 67 segment. So it's a 69 for Sammy's performance and a 58 for Kyle O'Reilly. I might need to change a wee promo for later on in the show. So we'll wait till we get, I think it might be next actually, so I'll maybe just reword it. Because here it is. Sammy heads backstage where he bumps into Daniel Garcia. So we'll change this up a wee bit. We'll say, Sammy, what did I tell you? You've got to listen to Joe and you'll start picking up wins. It will soon all go in the right direction. But listen, until then, come with me. I've got an idea for what we can do going forward. So the plan was, I thought I gave Sammy the win. Obviously, Kyle O'Reilly needed some positive momentum, so I gave it to him. But the idea is there is going to be a program building here with the backbone storyline. So Garcia is just going to try and motivate Sammy in the way that Samoa Joe motivated Daniel Garcia, and it's all going to lead to something down the line. So 57 there. There is going to be at one point an alliance between Garcia and Sammy Guevara. Did make a mess of that though. Next up, a wild brawl that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Megan Bain defeats Hikaru Shida in 12:07. Why have you done submission? I need to start putting finishes rather than just victors. But these two brought in a very good wild brawl. You can see that by both getting ratings over 70. 73 for the wrestling, 75 segment overall. It's pretty solid stuff, especially not on pay-per-view. And Hikaru Shida is getting a little bit stale, so I'll better take a note of that. So I can work on that. I think it's Mariah May. It's someone else is getting stale and I haven't done it yet. I'll leave it all over the place and try to book these shows. I can get like a week's done in like usually a sitting, and then it's a few days before I get to the next time. Massive pain. Anyway, it's a fantastic win for Megan Bain over a former AEW Women's World Champion, and she's not done with Shida. She picks her back up and she lands her again with her finishing manoeuvre. Surely gold is in the future of Megan Bayne. So a 67 here, a beatdown from Megan Bayne. This is going to lead to something down the line, but for this one, it's a 67. Next up, we had a decent matchup. Darby Allin defeats Wheeler Yuta in 11:38 with the coffin drop. 64 for the wrestling and a 67 segment. Darby brought a 72 performance, Yuta a 57. These two didn't click, and that probably dropped it from a low 70s. Shame. We then had words from Darby Allin. You see this, Kenny? This is why you should take me seriously. I'm not here for games anymore. I'm here to make moments in this wonderful company. I'm here to help elevate this wonderful company, and I'm going to elevate your championship by beating you at Full Gear. These people know how good I am, how much I put my body through, everything, and you'll realise how good I am and why I do what I do. So Darby again getting constantly frustrated by Kenny Omega, and yeah, just making sure that Kenny respects him. Storyline gains heat and a 68 segment. Not looking good in the promo side, so that's a bit worrying. I do have one that I hope should do the trick. So backstage, it's another defeat for Wheeler Yuta, and he just looks inconsolable. He walks by Daniel Garcia, doesn't say anything, before he has Jon Moxley walk up to him. He goes, "What the hell is this, Yuta? You want so badly to be in the Death Riders. I've beaten you up to knock some sense into you, but nothing seems to get through. So this is it. Next week, you're going to face me, and if you don't bring it, and you don't beat me, you're gone from the Death Riders forever." So a 58 segment here. The performance of Moxley was good. The commentary lifted the segment, and it was a 58. The reality is leading to a lot of things that obviously you take a pain in a few of the segments. But yeah, Yuta versus Moxley next week. We had a decent matchup here. Jay White defeating Matt Sydal in 10:18 with the Blade Runner. I made this steal the show. Sadly not some great stuff from Matt Sydal, who was off his game, but I'm assuming he'd be rusty. Coming off a long-term injury, Jay White with a fantastic 87, 70 for the wrestling, and a 75 segment. Some words in from Jay White. Wrestle Dreams saw the Switchblade come within a whisker of taking the AEW International Championship, but big man Walter got very lucky on the night, and he was able to escape. But now you and that championship are a prime target for Jay White. I will not rest until that championship is around my waist. Now, I may not be a Collision cowboy like, well, he's obviously on Collision, Walter, but you better watch your back, big fella, because I know a few of them around these parts. So hinting at something for Collision, a 77 segment there. Jay White still wants that International Championship. We then have a small backstage segment where it's just a few words from Kyle Fletcher to Mark Davis, and he says, "Davis, after that win over Shelton last week, it shows that we can beat the Hurt Syndicate. So Full Gear, let's make it happen, let's get the rematch, get the win, and then 2025 the way it should be." So a 66 segment. The storyline advances but loses heat. The mannerisms probably tell you where it's going. Then the segment to save the day, thank God. So I decided to do this one. I was either going to do it at the start of the show or just before the main event, but I'm going to Eddie versus Swerve in the main event, and I kind of like in the old Rampage days, you get the promo from each side. So Eddie Kingston says, "Tonight I'm fighting Swerve. This is a risky fight for me before Mox. Hell, of course it's risky. But I know if I want to be in prime condition and ready for this battle with Mox, I've got to face some tough SOBs around here. Just a shame that it was Swerve's name they get put forward." Swerve replies, "Saturday night I came so close to becoming the #1 contender for the AEW World title. It's a bad defeat, but I'm not dropping my head. I'm moving forward, and a win against the second most dangerous man in AEW, Swerve being the first, and Eddie Kingston, will show the world that I am in the top echelon of pro wrestler here in AEW, and tonight I prove it." So 88 segment, both guys performing well. Eddie great off script. Swerve good catchphrase, Excalibur, and the car commentary could have been better. Now we just need to hope the main event delivers and they click, because it could be a stylistic clash. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully we can at least neutral popularity we'd be happy with. But as I say, it could go either way. Remains to be seen. It's not horrible. It was a good matchup. Swerve picks up the win over Eddie Kingston in 1954 with a Swerve Stomp following a distraction from John Moxley. So it protects Eddie a little bit because you've obviously got the feud between Eddie and Mox, which advances but loses heat. Sadly, Swerve was off his game, which put him to a 75 performance. That maybe could have put the match to an 80. But yeah, Swerve wins your main event. Good little rebound after the defeat on Collision. And that means our show maybe about 80, if we're lucky. 78, that's fair enough. As I said, I don't feel the ratings were particularly high. I think we were carried by the Kingston and Swerve promo. A good opener. But I think it moved a lot of stories along, at least in my head. And yeah, we're slowly putting together that full gear card. There is a few things I wanted to go on the show, but I didn't have time for. But they'll probably be in next week's episode, which of course will include Moxley versus Utah. But that was Dynamite. Matt Sydal is being influenced by Paul Heyman. Interesting. Now, Collision. So Pensacola Bay Center is the host of tonight's episode of Collision. And we start off with some words from Swerve Strickland, who says, last week on Collision, I came so close to becoming the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be. With Takeshita getting in my way as I lost to the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, good luck Dragon, you deserve it. Now as for me, I had a nice victory over Eddie Kingston on Dynamite. Maybe I got a little help from someone that I didn't need, but tonight I'm going to prove that I don't need help. Tonight I'm calling out Walter and I want a shot at that International Championship. This leads to Walter coming out. So Swerve, you think you deserve a shot at this championship? Well, you're lucky I'm a fighting champion. I'll fight you. I'll fight Jay White again. And if his Collision Cowboys decide to show up, I'll fight them as well. But just make sure you bring it tonight and don't waste my time. So setting up a very big main event for the AEW International Championship, Walter versus Swerve Strickland. The segment was a 76. The You Cost Me storyline advances, but lost heat. Swerve there, improvising well, as did Walter. Our opening contest of the evening was a trios match, and it was a decent match. The team of MJF, Ricky Starks and Wardlow defeating the team of Hologram, Commander and Orange Cassidy. And at 12:58, when MJF submitted Orange Cassidy with the Salt of the Earth due to interference from Kevin Steen. So Steen obviously fuming because of last week. This wrestling match was a 72 for its wrestling and 80 for the segment, so some very good stuff there. You can see in terms of performances, Orange Cassidy with a fantastic 84, and you're slowly getting some better performances out of the likes of MJF with a 75, and Absolute Ricky Starks with a 70. The Backbone storyline advances, and the storyline idea that was deployed was also a success. All in all, good stuff. We have a little backstage segment with AJ Styles and Nick Wayne. Last week, Nick, that was a mighty impressive victory defeating Kevin Steen, but just try and stay grounded. Getting too overconfident can lead you down the wrong path, and that would be bad for your development. This in turn leads Nick Wayne to saying, you know AJ, you tried to warn me last week, and I got the job done. Now you know that I respect you and the words that come out of your mouth, but tonight I think you need to realise just how damn good I am in the ring. Get your gear together. Tonight, I want to face you, and I won't take no for an answer. And AJ's kind of taken aback by this. It says, now listen, don't you dare ever threaten me, but I'll give you your opportunity. Just don't regret it. So their storyline advances, it gains a bit of heat. Their storyline idea was deployed. It was a success, and the segment was 63. So also, AJ Styles and Nick Wayne later tonight. Next up, we had a decent match in our women's division, as Bayley defeats Dani Luna in 7:31 with the Rose Plant. This was our storytelling matchup of the evening. At 64, I think it's good for Dani's development being in there with Bayley, and at the same time gives Bayley some positive momentum. And an actual match on an A show. We then hear from FTR, who say Christian Cage and Cope, the warning shots were fired. It's pretty cute that you guys think you can hurt us. Well, newsflash, both of you guys came out of retirement. Both of you guys were laid up hurt. Both of you guys are fragile, have weaknesses of which we can take advantage of. You came out of the home and you took our time, our moments. Now we'll be a good little FTR and we'll give you that 1 month run. We'll give you that match in the spotlight. But Adam, Jay, just remember those necks and those heads have been injured before and are just one beatdown away from returning. So a 67 there, really strong promo from FTR. Their storyline with Cope and Christian Cage advances and gains heat. The storyline idea that we deployed here was a success, and both Cash Wheeler and Christian Cage received morale boosts because of this. So overall, the storyline deployments have been good. Next up, a decent wild brawl. It saw Mariah May defeat Mayu Yamashita in 10:43 with a reverse bulldog. Maya done a fantastic job of carrying Mariah here with a fantastic 81 performance, as this wrestling match had a 72 and the segment a 77, as Mariah continues to gain momentum. We had a little backstage segment between MJF and William Regal. William Regal says, "Maxwell, great victory for you three guys tonight. Everything is going to plan and we're moving along and progressing nicely, but I do feel like it's time to expand. So leave it to me, sunshine. You three, keep doing what you're doing, and one day this will be the backbone of this company." So 69 for their segment backstage. Next matchup was decent. The Undisputed Kingdom, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong defeated the MXM Collection in 8:22 when Kyle O'Reilly submitted Mansoor with the ankle lock. Overall, a 70. Roddy's doing fantastic stuff with it. I just can't seem to get Kyle getting good ratings, which is frustrating me, but we'll get there. Overall, a 70 segment. A good win for 2/3 of your trio's champions. Over the course of the match, there is a lot of bickering between Nigel McGuinness and Adam Cole on commentary. So Nigel, what are you going to do about it? Are you jealous of me, Kyle and Roddy? Sit down. You're nothing but a commentator and you are past your prime. You can't hang with us anymore and it makes you sick to your stomach that you can't accept that. So a 74 segment there, Nigel using little hints towards a future babyface turn. We then have the segment where Hangman has some words for MJF. Of course, the stipulation was they can't face each other one-on-one, but Hangman might have a plan. "MJF, for the last period of time, you've made my life hell. You and your group of lackeys, you call them equals, but we know that they work for you. You're just goons. Now I know that a 1v1 match at this point is out of the question, but I'll find a way. Because if you've got friends aligned with you, then maybe I'll have to go hunting for some of mine." I think this was like a late idea of a change of plan where I was going to separate them and I felt like there is one thing I can do with them before they go their separate ways. So 88 segment, backbone storyline advances. Or it could just be poor continuity for me, that works as well. So next up was a decent matchup. Nick Wayne defeats AJ Styles in 14:09 by pinfall. This match was designed so they could steal the show. 72 wrestling, a 73 segment, 76 performance from AJ, 68 from Nick Wayne, and their storyline advances. So we'll have more than that as the weeks go on. So basically, AJ had the promise he would put Nick Wayne over. That was expiring on the 31st of October, which obviously we wouldn't have another collision by then, so we had match 1 then. So I think we'll probably have 2 more matches and they'll get their grudge match at the pay-per-view. But yeah, good stuff there. Obviously, a few negatives will be both of them being baby faces. But it is what it is. Still, it's only going to be good for Nick Wayne's development. We then had some words from the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, so we are doing superb from a promo side, or an angle side. "Last week, I won a triple threat match to become the new #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. Now I know I've fallen short challenging for a few championships here, but I know when the stakes are at their highest that I can find that extra gear. I know that you fans can inspire me to find the extra 5-10% that it needs to get over the line. Now I know Okada isn't here tonight, but if he's watching, you've got 4 weeks. Get ready. The Battle of Los Angeles was a warm-up. I will train hard and I'll go through some of the most intense training camps that I can, because at full gear, I will win the AEW Men's World Championship or I will die trying." So a 91 segment there. Their storyline advances and gains heat, and the storyline idea that was deployed was a success. Can't wait to run that one back. Main event time. And it delivered. Fantastic. In a bout that had superb wrestling and good heat, Walter defeats Swerve Strickland in 21:33 with a folding powerbomb following interference from Konosuke Takeshita. Everything about the match was specifically designed to give it an epic feel in the eyes of the fans. During the matchup, we also had Juice Robinson run in and attack Walter, and it gives Walter his 11th defence of the International Championship. So Juice Robinson couldn't cost Walter the matchup. The other members of Bullet Club Gold are on Dynamite, so that's why it was just Juice. And yeah, Takeshita not happy with the words that Swerve said earlier on about costing him the #1 contendership. But if we look at this one, 92 for the wrestling, 93 segment overall, Walter with a 93, Swerve with a 90, the You Cost Me storyline advances and gains heat, and the creative finish was a success as well. So overall, delivered everything I wanted to do, and it gives me faith that if that was ever a program in the future, it would deliver, and I need to start utilising epics a bit more. So finish the show. I'd like to hope we'd be maybe close to 90. That turn's not happening yet, don't worry about that. 91, oh yeah, I think that's definitely our best television by far. Fair enough, right, we maybe went with a matchup that you'd leave for pay-per-view, but yeah, that's perfect. So sadly, of course, Collision is only really broadcast primarily massively in the US, so we only gain pop in night regions. I think it would have been pop across the board, but as I say, it adds that wee element of difficulty to it, rather than just OP popularity gains everywhere. But yeah, delighted with that one. We've forwarded a lot of storylines, and the card is slowly taking shape, and there's still 4 weeks of television. We're ready to try and maybe drag some of those storylines out. So we quick look, Shockwave, nothing in incidents, time for the main screen, time for your week in AEW Roundup. So after that really good version of Collision, it's time to take a look at what else went down in the world of wrestling. So fantastic reviews we got for Collision. Shockwave I thought was okay. I was really insistent on using a lot of the riskier and gamble match finishes, creative finishes, and the angle ideas. And the ones that I didn't expect to work worked, and the ones I had a bit more faith in didn't. So obviously in a B show, the full show really doesn't matter. It's more about getting people over, gaining momentum and development. So when we look over them, you can probably see where we tried it and where it failed. Anything else that directly affects us? I can see Vikingo's signing a new deal with AAA. What type of deal is that going to be? A handshake, that's fine. We'll keep him on board. That's cool. We can actually push him. Joe Hendry wins the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, and Stardom are giving an extension there. That's fine. So we'll have a look at the news here. Jack Perry's contract. So he is currently the New Japan World Television Champion. I'm not doing too much with him. He's 28. We'll just give him a 1 year deal. I like giving a lot of them handshake deals. A, to save money, but B, allowing them to go elsewhere. And then if somebody tries to tap them up, sure, we'll fully invest in them. 1.4 million watch Collision, 2.7 million viewers for Shockwave, and Jeff Jarrett says Commander doesn't connect with the fans. Ironic, Jeff. So what went down in the week that was AEW? So we can actually do it for here and keep forgetting that. So if I click on, well, we can't actually, sorry, forgetting. We need to cover Rampage, so we need to go here. So Rampage went with Keith Lee defeating the Butcher. That was a 56. Athena in an angle with Billy Stark was a 64. You'll see a lot of younger talents in these angles as well to just try and get their full characters over and help with their kind of skills as well. Hook defeats John Silver, 67. A Wheeler Yuta angle was a 54. Thunder Rosa over Anna Jay was a 47, before she then discussed with Matt Menard what went wrong, which was a 62. A small angle with Sammy Guevara was a 60. And our main event saw Masha Slamovich pick up a massive victory over Mayu Iwatani in a 74 rated main event. Over on Shockwave, I opened with Mike Bailey defeating Johnny TV. It was a very good performance from Mike Bailey. Johnny TV is not getting good performances at all. We had an angle with Yamashita, which was a 71. We had a 8-man tag, the team of Commander, Hidro del Vikingo and Top Flight defeated Zack Knight, the Workhorseman, in a one-off appearance from Stallion Rogers, so he took the fall, a 68. Very impressed with Billy Starks defeating Emi Sakura in a 70. Another angle for Anna Jay was a 59. We used a risky finish for Jamie Hayter, but in her win over Azumi, it got an 80, so delighted with that one. And then we tried the risky angle with Juice Robinson, it only got a 51. He was then defeated by Bandido in a 75. We had a failed finish with Private Party defeating the Acclaimed in a 63. And then a bit of a brawl and teasing more tension between Bones and Caster, also failed with an angle, and that was a 54. I think we're going to let them split up and see what we can do with them. But overall, a 65 rated show, could have been better. But yeah, as I say, that's more for those you can see who we're developing and who we've got plans for in the future. So that's it for this episode. Thanks very much for watching. Sorry it's a wee bit late getting put up. 3 times I went to play this game, I had open, and 3 times I fell asleep and went a 2-hour nap. So yeah, it was a tough week. And the Switch 2 arriving probably took a bit of time as well. But we are on the road to full gear. 4 weeks of television to go. Let's hope we can keep this momentum up. As always, check out Fantasy Booker subreddit, Grey Dog Software forums, twdb.com and bethebooker.net. A wee thumbs up would be appreciated, and hopefully I'll see you next week as we get close. Well, by the end of the video, we'll be in November. Bye bye.